Today I'm going to be presenting my science project. My science project is called What is the Dirtiest Place in the School? And by Maria Lashford. That's me. So the reason why I want to do this question was because this has been in my mind for a very long time. I've been thinking about this, and when Corona started, this is when I really started thinking more about it. Like, where are the places that I should be, most afraid of? Where should I touch and then go wash my hand out? So, my question is, what is the dirtiest place in the school? And how my question works is, I chose 7 places to test out with petri dishes, and I counted how many colonies there were and found out what the dirtiest place was. Okay, so if you guys don't know what a petri dish is, a petri dish is a dish where they usually swab bacteria on. So what is in a petri dish? A petri dish has agar in it. Agar is a mixture of two components, the linear polysaccharide agarose, which is like a component that they put into the agar, and a heterogeneous mixture of smaller molecules called agropectin. Agropectin is one of the main ingredients of the agar out of 2 ingredients. And if you don't know what heterogeneous means, it means diverse. So when they say a diverse mixture of smaller molecules, meaning there are many different types of molecules. My hypothesis. My hypothesis is the kindergartner's doorknob will be the dirtiest, because usually we tend to make wudu before lunch to go pray, and we're washing our hands every once in a while. So that's why I thought the kindergarten's doorknob would be the most contaminated. So my materials for this project were petri dishes filled with the agar, cotton swabs, a marker to write down on the petri dishes what the thing is so I don't get confused, and an incubator. An incubator is something that you put petri dishes in so that they'll stay in there with the heat and the bacteria will grow. But that's optional. I didn't use it because petri dishes can be in any temperature you want, whether it's hot or it's cold. If it's cold, they're going to take much longer to grow. If it's hot, they'll grow warmer and warmer. Okay, my procedure. The first step is to wear gloves for protection of getting other germs into the petri dish, because sometimes our hands can be dirty, and when we're swabbing things and we're swabbing on the petri dish, we don't want to get any of those germs on our hands in there, or then it's going to be a little mixed up. Okay, the second step is to take a swab. You're going to swab it on the place you want to test. So if I'm going to test my hand, I'm going to swab it on there, and then you're going to swab it back on the petri dish. And you want to slightly open the petri dish, just a little bit, and you're going to swab it. Usually how I swab it is a zigzag way, so it's going to look like a DNA form. That's how scientists usually do it. And then you're going to swab it on here. And after that, you're going to put it somewhere safe, or in an incubator if you'd like, and you're going to let it sit there. Usually if it's in an incubator, it's going to take about 48 hours, which is basically 2 days. But for me, it actually took a whole week to grow, because it was in the 50s. It was actually pretty cold. And then you're going to want to report your data about the petri dish, because you want to check on your petri dish every single day to make sure that, okay, if one day 2 colonies grew, you're going to write that down. If another day 3 colonies grew, you want to make sure you're keeping track. Okay, so the places I tested were, the first one is the kindergarten light switch. The second one is the middle school light switch. So I was comparing these to see which one would be dirtier. The third thing is the hand sanitizer pump. Now the hand sanitizer pump, we're always using it, especially now with the corona. Every time I see students walking in and the hand sanitizer pump is right there, even myself, we're just pumping hand sanitizer, making sure our hands are clean. So I was thinking, are there bacteria on the pump? Because you're pressing it a lot, and many people are doing that. And the fourth thing is the kindergarten doorknob, because like I said, I thought that's my hypothesis, it's going to be the dirtiest, because a lot of times they tend to not wash their hands. And then I'm going to compare that with the middle school keyboard. So we have a computer in our class that sits over here, and we're always using that to pass things onto the TV. And my sixth thing is the kitchen faucet, which usually the teachers use to wash cups or things, or wash their hands. And the seventh thing is the indoor water fountain. Now this one was something that's been also in my mind, because an indoor water fountain, everyone's drinking from there, and sometimes saliva can get on there and dirty things, so we don't know what's going to be on there. Okay, so the first thing that I tested out was the kindergartner's light switch. So from day 1 to 6, actually, I didn't see anything on the petri dish. On the 7th day, I saw 2 colonies of bacteria. So you can see right here, these are the 2 colonies. They're really small. And I also have them over here. So it's also right here. My second thing was the middle school light switch that I was going to compare that to. And now we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can see 6 colonies of bacteria on there. So we figured out that the middle school light switch is actually more germ contaminated than the kindergartner's light switch. Okay, the third thing I tested out was the hand sanitizer pump. In the hand sanitizer pump, I actually only saw 1 colony of bacteria on there, so that wasn't that bad. The kindergartner's doorknob was actually only 1 colony of bacteria, so it wasn't very bad. And I think this happened because we usually tend on Fridays with the coronavirus, we started wiping our doorknobs with Kleenex and making sure they're clean. And now this is the middle school's keyboard, and I saw 5 colonies of bacteria. So there's a huge one right here. There's a medium one, another huge one. This is a really small one that's, I think, still growing. And there's another one right here. So there are 5 colonies of bacteria. Okay. So this petri dish, you can see I edited this and I colored this out. Because usually sometimes if you don't have many petri dishes, you can take a petri dish, you can flip it over, make a mark, splitting it in half evenly. So so you can swab this place, so this could be a separate thing, and the other side could be a separate thing. So I didn't want to distract you guys with this, so we're going to talk about this. In this one, I actually saw 1 colony of bacteria. So the kitchen faucet wasn't very good. And now this is the water fountain. The water fountain, I actually saw many colonies of bacteria. I didn't have a microscope at the time, so I wasn't able to count. But we can see this is very contaminated, actually. It's contaminated much more than the other things. So here, you can pass it on if you want. Just look at it.
Just please don't open it.
Don't open it, don't smell it. It's not delightful. It's really bad. Okay, my conclusion. The most contaminating thing was the indoor water fountain. I really enjoyed this project because I got to do something I really wanted to do. And I learned many things out of this. I learned how to start using petri dishes. I learned why we should wash our hands more. I learned that the water fountain is really dirty and maybe it's better to bring your own water bottle. And so I decided to go over coronavirus a little bit because I think we should worry about it more because it's it started happening, and with the germs we can see them everywhere. We want to make sure we're safe. So what we can do to help? What we can do to help is we can use Kleenex to wipe doorknobs, wipe places we tend to wash a lot, like keyboard notes and things like that. How to stay away from the virus? We want to make sure we're drinking a lot of water, washing our hands, making sure everything is not very contaminated. Masks is a whole different thing because masks are actually for the people who are sick, so it will help prevent them from spreading the disease to other people. So if you're wearing a mask, it's not going to really help unless you have coronavirus or like a fever or infection. So why we should be aware is because something that our prophet told us is that when there's something in our community happening, something wrong, the first thing we should do is do something about it. We should help do something. We can, start raising awarenesses to other people, helping, start wiping people's doorknobs to help them to stay clean. Another thing he said is if you can't do something, you should say something about it. You can talk to people about it. You can tell them what they should be doing right now, what's happening. And if you can't talk to someone about it, you should at least feel bad in your heart. So you should feel bad in your heart for it. Because if you're not going to be able to do something or speak about it, you should feel bad about it in your heart because this is something happening in your community, and we as an ummah, we should all be aware and we should all do something. Okay. So thank you for your time, and thank you.